Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, hustlers and dreamers, listen to me. I need your attention, not just with your ears, but with your spirit, with your soul, because what I'm about to say isn't just words. It's a declaration. It's a vow. It's a battle cry. 2025 will be mine. Let me ask you something. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to make 2025 the year that changes your life? Are you willing to go through the fire? Are you ready to grind when it's dark, when it's cold, when nobody's cold, and nobody's clapping for you? Because let me tell you something, success doesn't come to the comfortable. Victory doesn't come to the complacent. It comes to the hungry. The question isn't whether 2025 can be yours. The question is whether you'll claim it. When January 1st hits, you're going to have a choice. You can step into that year like every other year, or you can step into it like it's your time. I'm talking about walking into 2025 like you've already won, like the title of your success story is written, and the only thing left to do is fill in the details. But let me warn you, 2025 isn't going to roll over and hand you your dreams. No, it's going to test you. It's going to ask, how much do you want it? And when it does, you better have an answer. Not with words, but with action, with sacrifice, with discipline. You want to own 2025? Then here's the blueprint. Commit to the grind. Stop hoping. Stop wishing. Stop working. Wake up earlier. Go to bed later. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's where growth happens. Dominate your mind. The battlefield isn't out there. It's in here. You got to stop letting self-doubt and fear run your life. If you don't control your mind will control you, and it will steer you straight into mediocrity. And not this year. Not in 2025. Raise your standards. Stop playing small. Stop hanging around people who don't see your greatness. If they're not adding to your fire, they're putting it out. Protect your energy, protect your vision, protect your grind. Execute with relentless consistency. I don't care if you feel like it. I don't care if it's raining, if you're tired, if nobody believes in you. Feelings are temporary, but results are forever. Show up every single day like your life depends on it, because it does. Let me tell you the truth, nobody's going to hand you anything. Nobody's coming to save you. If you want 2025 to be yours, you got to take it. You got to take it. You got to look yourself in the mirror every single day and say, I'm not leaving this year without everything I deserve. And when the world tries to stop you, will you tell them, watch me? When people doubt you, will you tell them I'm built different? When you feel like quitting, and you remind yourself 2025 is mine. So here's the deal, don't just talk about it. Don't just dream about it. Be about it. Make the decision today that 2025 will be the year you stop existing and start living. That you stop surviving and start thriving. Because when December 31st, 2025 rolls around, I want you to look back at the year and say, I didn't just live through 2025. I conquered it. I owned it. Now, get out there and make it yours. Your future's waiting. Your destiny's calling. 2025 will be mine, will it be yours? The grind is not just about putting in the hours, it's about how you show up every single day with a purpose, with a fire, with an unshakable commitment to the process. Too many people think they're working hard, but they're really just going through the motions. They clock in, they do the bare minimum, and they clock out. But those aren't the people who succeed. Those aren't the people who make waves, who change their lives, who dominate. The people who truly achieve greatness are the ones who commit to the grind, not just on the days they feel like it, but especially on the days they don't. The grind is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the uncomfortable, relentless pursuit of your goals. It's waking up earlier than you want to, staying up later than you plan to, and pushing through when your body and mind are screaming for you to quit. But here's the thing, the grind isn't punishment. It's preparation. It's shaping you into the person you need to become to handle the success you're working for. Every drop of sweat, every late night, every early morning is an investment in your future self. If you want to win, you have to make the grind a part of your DNA. It has to become who you are, not just what you do. That means there's no such thing as off days, sure. You can rest, you can recover, but the grind doesn't stop. Because the grind isn't just physical, it's mental. It's the mindset that says, I don't care how I feel, I'm showing up. I don't care if it's hard, I'm doing the work. I don't care if no one notices. I'm staying consistent. The grind doesn't require applause, it requires discipline. Discipline is the backbone of the grind. It's easy to be motivated when you're excited about your goals, but motivation is fleeting. Discipline, on the other hand, is what keeps you moving forward when the excitement fades. Discipline is saying yes to your future self and no to your current excuses. It's choosing to do what needs to be done, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you don't feel like it. The grind tests your discipline every single day. It asks you, are you serious about this? Or are you just pretending in your actions, not your words, are the answer? When you commit to the grind, you're making a promise to yourself that you won't give up, no matter how hard it gets. That's because the grind is not a straight path. It's full of setbacks, obstacles, and moments that make you question why you started. But those moments are where growth happens. They're the moments that separate the winners from the quitters. Because while most people see obstacles as reasons to stop, those who are truly committed to the grind see them as opportunities to grow. They understand that every challenge is a chance to prove to themselves how badly they want it. Committing to the grind also means understanding the importance of consistency. You can't dabble in greatness. You can't work hard for a week, slack off for a month, and expect results. The grind demands daily effort, even if it's small. Even if you're taking tiny steps, those steps add up over time. The grind is like building a brick wall. Every single brick matters. You don't lay one brick and then walk away. You keep laying them day after day until the wall is built. That's how success is achieved, not in one big leap, but in the accumulation of small, consistent actions. And let's be real, there will be days when the grind feels unbearable. Days when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when it feels like you're not making any progress. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the days that define your character. Anyone can work hard when they feel good, but it takes a special kind of determination to keep grinding when everything inside you is telling you to stop. That's where true strength is built. That's where resilience is forged. The grind also requires sacrifice. You can't have it all if you're serious about achieving your goals. You might have to sacrifice sleep, comfort, time with friends, or even short-term pleasures. But here's the thing, those sacrifices aren't losses. They're investments. Every time you choose to grind over an easy way out, you're choosing your future self over your current self. And the future you is counting on you to make that choice. Committing to the grind means taking ownership of your life. It's about refusing to make excuses or blame circumstances. It's about saying, no matter what's happening around me, I'm in control of my effort. I'm in control of my attitude. I'm in control of my results. The grind doesn't care about your background, your resources, or your past. It only cares about one thing: are you willing to put in the work? If the answer is yes, then the grind will reward you. It might not happen overnight, but it will happen if you stay the course. The grind is also about humility. It's about being willing to start from the bottom, to learn, to fail, and to learn, to fail, and to grow. Too many people want the glory without the grind. They want the rewards without the effort. But that's not how life works. The grind humbles you. It reminds you that success is earned, not given. And in that humility, you find strength. You find the courage to keep going, even when it feels like the odds are against you. When you commit to the grind, you're committing to becoming the best version of yourself. You're committing to pushing past your limits, to breaking through barriers, and to proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. But that doesn't happen by accident. It happens through intentional, focused effort, day after day, week after week, month after month. It happens when you decide that your dreams are worth the pain, the sweat, and the struggle. The grind isn't glamorous. It's not the highlight reel you see on social media. It's the early mornings, the late nights, the missed parties, the sacrifices that no one else sees. It's doing the work when no one's watching, when no one's cheering, when no one even knows what you're up to. But that's what makes it so powerful. Because when you finally achieve your goals, you'll know that you earned it. You'll know that you didn't take shortcuts. You'll know that you gave it everything you had. Committing to the grind is a decision you have to make every single day. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It's a choice you make every time you're faced with the option to slack off or step up. Every time you're tempted to quit or keep going. Every time you're tired, discouraged, or unsure. The grind is a daily battle, but it's a battle worth fighting because the rewards are worth it. The growth is worth it. The life you're building is worth it. The grind doesn't just build your skills, it builds your character. It teaches you patience, perseverance, and the power of delayed gratification. It shows you what you're capable of when you refuse to give up. It gives you confidence, not because everything comes easy, but because you've proven to yourself that you can handle the hard stuff, that you can show up, put in the work, and make progress even when it's tough. Dominate your mind. This is where the battle begins and ends. If you can control your thoughts, you can control your destiny. The mind is the most powerful tool you possess, but it can also be your greatest enemy if you don't take charge of it. Every success, every failure, every breakthrough begins in your mind. The thoughts you entertain shape your actions, and your actions shape your reality. If you want to achieve greatness, you first have to conquer the space between your ears. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant there will grow, whether it's seeds of doubt or seeds of confidence, whether it's fear or faith. You have to be intentional about what you're planting. Negative thoughts are like weeds. They'll take over if you let them. They'll choke out your dreams, your ambitions, your drive. But the beauty of the mind is that you can choose what to plant. You can choose to uproot the weeds and replace them with something stronger, something better. Dominating your mind means becoming the gatekeeper of your thoughts. It means refusing to entertain negativity, self-doubt, and fear. Those thoughts will come, no doubt about it. They'll try to creep in when you're tired, when you've failed, when things aren't going your way. But you don't have to let them stay. You can challenge them. You can replace them with thoughts that serve you, that empower you, that push you forward. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on what you can control, what you can do, what you can achieve. The first step to dominating your mind is awareness. You have to pay attention to the thoughts running through your head. Most people don't even realize how negative their self-talk is because it's become so habitual. They've spent years telling themselves they're not good enough, that they can't do it, that they're not smart enough, strong enough, capable enough, and those thoughts have become their reality. But once you become aware of those patterns, you can start to change them. You can start to rewrite the story you're telling yourself. To dominate your mind, you have to take full responsibility for your thoughts. It's easy to blame external circumstances for how you feel your job, your relationships, your past. But the truth is, you're in control of how you interpret and respond to those circumstances. No one else can think for you. No one else can decide what you focus on. That's your job. And it's a job you have to take seriously if you want to achieve your goals. One of the most powerful tools for dominating your mind is visualization. You have to see yourself winning before it happens. You have to picture yourself achieving your goals, living your dreams, becoming the person you want to be. Your mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So when you visualize success, you're training your brain to believe it's possible. You're creating a mental blueprint for your actions to follow. The more vividly you can imagine your success, the more likely you are to achieve it. But visualization alone isn't enough. You also have to rewire your brain with affirmations. The words you say to yourself matter. If you're constantly telling yourself you're not good enough, you'll believe it. But if you start telling yourself you're capable, you're strong, you're resilient, you'll start to believe that too. Affirmations are like a workout for your mind. The more you practice them, the stronger your belief in yourself becomes. And that belief is the foundation for everything else. Another key to dominating your mind is learning how to handle failure. Failure is inevitable. It's a part of the process, a part of growth. But too many people let failure define them. They let it shake their confidence, their self-worth, their belief in what's possible. You have to flip the script. Failure isn't a reflection of your worth, it's a lesson. It's feedback, it's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to get better. When you dominate your mind, you see failure not as an endpoint, but as a stepping stone. You use it to fuel your progress, not to stop it. Fear is another obstacle you have to conquer if you want to dominate your mind. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. These fears can paralyze you if you let them. But fear is just a thought, and thoughts can be changed. The best way to overcome fear is to face it head on. Action is the antidote to fear. The more you step outside your comfort zone, the more you realize that fear is an illusion. It's your mind's way of trying to protect you, but it's also the biggest thing holding you back. To dominate your mind, you also need to surround yourself with the right influences. The people you spend time with, the books you read, the content you consume, all of it affects your mindset. If you're constantly around negativity, it's going to seep into your thoughts. But if you surround yourself with positivity, with people who inspire you, challenge you, and believe in you, it's going to elevate your mindset. You have to protect your mental environment just as much as you protect your physical one. Another aspect of dominating your mind is focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, emails, notifications, they're constantly pulling your attention away from what matters. If you want to dominate your mind, you have to train yourself to focus. You have to prioritize what's important and tune out the noise. This requires discipline, but it's worth it. Focus is a superpower in a world full of distractions. The more you can train your mind to stay present and engaged, the more productive and effective you'll be. Mindset is also about gratitude. It's about choosing to focus on what you have instead of what you lack. Gratitude shifts your perspective. It reminds you of your strengths, your resources, your blessings. When you're grateful, you're less likely to dwell on the negative, less likely to feel defeated by challenges. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means approaching them from a place of strength and abundance rather than weakness and scarcity. Dominating your mind also means being patient with yourself. Growth takes time. Change takes time. It's easy to get frustrated when you don't see results right away, but frustration is a sign that your focus is in the wrong place. Instead of obsessing over the outcome, focus on the process. Trust that if you keep putting in the work, the results will come. Patience isn't passive, it's active. It's continuing to show up and do the work, even when the payoff feels far away. Your mind is your most valuable asset, and dominating it is the key to unlocking your potential. It's not easy. It takes effort, consistency, and a willingness to face yourself honestly, but the rewards are worth it. When you dominate your mind, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your life. You're taking control of your future, your destiny, your legacy. It all starts with a decision to take ownership of your mind and refuse to let anything or anyone control it for you. Raising your standards is not just about wanting more, it's about becoming more. It's about deciding that the person you've been up until now is no longer enough to achieve the dreams you've set for yourself. If you want to go higher, you have to demand more from yourself. Your standards are the invisible rules you live by, the expectations you set for how you show up in the world, and the limits of what you're willing to tolerate. The reality is your life will never exceed the standards you've set. So if you want to elevate your life, you have to elevate your standards. The first step to raising your standards is to get brutally honest with yourself. Where have you been settling? Where have you been making excuses, cutting corners, or accepting less than you deserve? It's not always easy to confront these truths, but growth doesn't happen in comfort. You have to look at every area of your life, your health, your career, your relationships, your mindset, and ask, am I showing up as the best version of myself here, or am I playing small? If the answer is anything less than your best, it's time to make a change. Raising your standards means refusing to settle for mediocrity. It means saying no to the things that no longer align with your goals and your values and your values. That might mean walking away from toxic relationships, cutting out bad habits, or leaving behind a job that doesn't challenge or fulfill you. It's not easy and it's not comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of growth. If you're serious about leveling it up, you have to be willing to let go of the things that are holding you back. You have to make room in your life for better things to come. To raise your standards, you need a clear vision of what you want your life to look like. You can't aim for better if you don't know what better looks like. What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of life do you want to live? You want to have a life do you want to live? Be specific. Vague goals lead to vague results. Write it down, visualize it, and commit to it. When you have a clear vision, you're not just raising your standards for the sake of it, you're raising them with a purpose. Once you've identified your new standards, you have to embody them. This isn't about talking the talk, it's about walking the walk. It's about aligning your actions with your intentions. Every decision you make, every action you take should reflect the higher standards you set for yourself. If your standard is to be healthy, that means choosing nutritious food, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep even when it's inconvenient. If your standard is to excel in your career, that means going above and beyond, investing in your skills and refusing to settle for average work. It's not enough to want it, you have to live it. Raising your standards also means raising your expectations of the people around you. This doesn't mean you should become arrogant or demanding, but it does mean surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and bring out the best in you. If the people in your life are holding you back, dragging you down, or enabling your bad habits, it's time to reassess those relationships. The people you surround yourself with have a huge influence on your mindset and your actions, so make sure they're aligned with the higher standards you're striving for. Your standards are a reflection of your self-worth. If you don't believe you deserve better, you'll never demand better. That's why raising your standards starts with believing in yourself. It's about knowing your value, recognizing your potential, and refusing to settle for less than you're capable of. This isn't about arrogance, it's about confidence. It's about confidence. It's about owning your worth and refusing to let anyone, including yourself, treat you as anything less. One of the biggest challenges of raising your standards is dealing with resistance both from yourself and from others. When you start to demand more from yourself, it's uncomfortable. It forces you to confront your fears, your doubts, and your insecurities. It's tempting to fall back into old habits, to tell yourself it's too hard, or to make excuses for why you can't change. But that's where the growth happens. If you can push through the discomfort, you'll come out stronger on the other side. Resistance from others can be even harder to deal with. When you raise your standards, it can make people around you uncomfortable, especially if they're not willing to raise their own. They might criticize you, try to bring you down, or accuse you of thinking you're better than them. But their reaction has nothing to do with you and everything to do with their own insecurities. You can't let their negativity derail you. Stay focused on your goals and remember why you're raising your standards in the first place. Raising your standards isn't a one-time decision, it's a daily commitment. It's a decision you have to make every morning when you wake up, every time you're faced with a choice, and every time life tests you. There will be days when it's hard, days when you feel like giving up, but those are the days that matter most. Those are the days that define whether you're truly committed to your higher standards, whether you're just playing pretend. One of the most powerful ways to raise your standards is to take control of your habits. Your habits are the building blocks of your life, and they're a direct reflection of your standards. If you want to change your life, you have to change your life. You have to change your habits. That means breaking the habits that no longer serve you and replacing them with ones that align with your new standards. It's not easy. It takes discipline, consistency, and patience, but the payoff is worth it. Over time, your new habits will become second nature, and your higher standards will become your new normal. Raising your standards also means holding yourself accountable. It's not enough to set higher standards, you have to follow through. That means being honest with yourself, owning your mistakes, and taking responsibility for your actions. If you slip up, don't make excuses or blame others. Acknowledge it, learn from it, and get back on track. Accountability is what separates those who succeed from those who give up when things get tough. When you raise your standards, you're not just improving your life, you're setting an example for others. You're showing them what's possible, inspiring them to raise their own standards, and creating a ripple effect that can impact everyone around you. This doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. It means you're committed to being the best version of yourself. And when you lead by example, you give others permission to do the same. The truth is, raising your standards is a lifelong journey. There's always another level to reach, another goal to strive for, another way to grow. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about constantly challenging yourself to be better than you were yesterday, to push beyond your limits, and to refuse to settle for anything less than your best. Every time you raise your standards, you expand what's possible for your life. You open the door to new opportunities, new experiences, and new levels of success. It's not easy, but it's worth it. The higher you set your standards, the consistency is the bridge between goals and results. It's not about doing something great once, it's about doing the right things over and over until they compound into success. Most people fail not because they lack talent or ambition, but because they lack the discipline to be consistent. They get excited at the start, fueled by motivation and big dreams, but when the excitement fades, so does their effort. Success doesn't come from one big action, it comes from the small, deliberate actions repeated day after day. Consistency requires showing up no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're tired, unmotivated, or discouraged, you show up anyway because that's what commitment looks like. It's easy to work hard when you feel inspired, but the true test is how you perform when the inspiration isn't there. That's what separates the average from the exceptional. Anyone can put in effort when it feels good, but only the truly committed can keep going when it's hard. Building consistency starts with creating habits that align with your goals. Habits are powerful because they remove the need for constant decision-making. When something becomes a habit, you don't have to think about it, you just do it. This reduces the mental resistance that often gets in the way of consistency. Instead of relying on willpower, which can be fleeting, you rely on routines that are ingrained in your daily life. This is how you build momentum and make progress over time. The key to establishing consistency is starting small. Too often, people set themselves up for failure by trying to do too much too soon. They set ambitious goals and try to change everything overnight. But when they can't sustain it, they give up entirely. Consistency isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something regularly. Even small actions, when repeated consistently, can lead to significant results over time. The important thing is to start and keep going, no matter how small the steps may seem. Consistency also requires discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's choosing long-term gains over short-term comfort. Discipline doesn't mean you never feel tempted to slack off or take the easy way out. It means you choose not to give in to those temptations. It's about holding yourself accountable and sticking to your commitments, even when no one else is watching. Discipline is the foundation that consistency is built on. Another key to consistency is focus. You can't be consistent if you're constantly jumping from one thing to another. You have to decide what matters most and direct your energy there. That means eliminating distractions, setting clear priorities, and saying no to anything that doesn't align with your goals. Focus isn't just about what you do, it's also about what you choose not to do. When you're consistent with your focus, you make steady progress toward your goals without wasting time or energy on things that don't matter. Consistency also demands patience. Results don't come overnight, and that can be frustrating. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate progress, but consistency is about playing the long game. It's about trusting the process and understanding that success is a result of cumulative effort. Each small action may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they add up to something much greater. Patience allows you to stay consistent, even when the payoff feels far away. One of the biggest challenges to consistency is dealing with setbacks. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how committed you are, there will be times when things don't go as planned. The key is not to let setbacks derail you. Consistency isn't about being perfect, it's about being persistent. When you miss a day, fall short, or face an obstacle, you don't give up. You get back on track as quickly as possible. It's not the occasional misstep that matters, it's what you do most of the time that determines your results. Mindset plays a huge role in staying consistent. If you believe you're capable of achieving your goals, you're more likely to stay consistent in your efforts. But if you doubt yourself or focus on your limitations, it's easy to lose motivation. That's why it's so important to cultivate a positive, resilient mindset. Remind yourself of why you started, celebrate your progress along the way, and keep your eyes on the bigger picture. When you believe in yourself and your vision, you're more likely to stay the course. Consistency is also about setting realistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations can lead to burnout and disappointment, which are enemies of consistency. It's important to set goals that challenge you but are also achievable. This allows you to build confidence and maintain momentum. When you hit a milestone, no matter how small, it reinforces the belief that your efforts are paying off and motivates you to keep going. A strong support system can also help you stay consistent. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, hold you accountable, and share your commitment to growth. Whether it's a mentor, a coach, or a friend, having someone in your corner can make a big difference. They can provide perspective, help you stay focused, and push you to keep going when you feel like giving up. Accountability partners can be especially helpful because they add an extra layer of responsibility to your actions. Consistency thrives on routine. The more structured your day, the easier it is to stay consistent. Create a schedule that includes time for your priorities and stick to it as much as possible. Routines create a sense of predictability and stability, which makes it easier to maintain consistent habits. Over time, your routine becomes second nature, and you don't have to rely on motivation to get things done. It becomes automatic. It's also important to track your progress. When you can see how far you've come, it reinforces the value of staying consistent. Keep a journal, use a habit tracker, or find another way to measure your progress. This not only keeps you accountable, but also provides a sense of accomplishment. Each small win builds confidence and motivation, making it easier to stay consistent. Consistency isn't about intensity, it's about persistence. Some days you'll feel like giving 100%, and other days you might only have 50% to give. The key is to give what you have, no matter what. Even on your worst days, showing up and doing something is better than doing nothing at all. Consistency is about the cumulative effect of your efforts, not about being perfect every single day. Another aspect of consistency is adaptability. Life will throw curveballs and circumstances will change. Consistency doesn't mean rigidly sticking to a plan that no longer works. It means finding ways to keep moving forward, no matter what. Be flexible, but don't lose sight of your goals. Adapt your approach as needed, but stay committed to your purpose. Adaptability allows you to maintain consistency even in the face of challenges. Consistency is the ultimate equalizer. You don't have to be the smartest, the fastest, or the most talented to succeed. You just have to be consistent. Over time, consistent effort can outperform raw talent or fleeting bursts of motivation. It's about outlasting, outworking, and outcommitting the competition. It's about doing the work day in and day out, no matter how you feel or what's going on around you. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's not the flashy highlight reel that gets celebrated on social media. It's the behind-the-scenes grind, the unsexy work that no one sees. But that's where the magic happens. It's in the repetition, the discipline, and the persistence that greatness is built. If you can stay consistent, no matter how mundane or difficult the process may seem, you will see results. You will see results. You will achieve your goals. And you will become the person you've always wanted to be. Embracing discomfort is the cornerstone of growth. It's the uncomfortable moments, the situations that push you to your limits, that shape you into the person you're meant to become. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you stretch beyond what feels safe, when you confront challenges head on, and when you endure the struggles that come with pursuing something bigger than yourself. Discomfort is not the enemy, it's the signal that you're doing something that matters. The first step to embracing discomfort is recognizing that it's a natural part of the process. Too often, people shy away from discomfort, mistaking it for a sign that they're on the wrong path. But the truth is, the very act of chasing your goals and striving for greatness will naturally create discomfort. It's supposed to be hard. If it were easy, everyone would do it. The fact that it's uncomfortable means you're stretching yourself, pushing your boundaries, and growing stronger. Discomfort is a sign of progress. When you embrace discomfort, you take control of your mindset. Instead of fearing it, you welcome it as an opportunity. You understand that every challenge, every obstacle, every moment of doubt is a chance to grow. It's a chance to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever thought possible. This shift in perspective is powerful. When you stop running from discomfort and start leaning into it, you become unstoppable. You realize that the pain, the struggle, and the uncertainty are temporary, but the growth they bring is permanent. Discomfort forces you to confront your fears. It's easy to avoid the things that scare you, to stay in your comfort zone where everything feels safe and familiar. But that safety comes at a cost. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you small. When you embrace discomfort, you face your fears head on. You do the things that terrify you, not because you're fearless, but because you know that fear is just a barrier between you and your goals. The more you confront your fears, the more they lose their power over you. Embracing discomfort also builds resilience. Every time you push through a difficult situation, you prove to yourself that you're capable of handling more than you thought. You develop mental toughness, the ability to stay focused and committed even when things get hard. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the stronger your resilience, the more challenges you can take on without breaking. This is how you build the strength to keep going no matter what life throws at you. One of the biggest lessons discomfort teaches you is patience. Growth takes time. Success takes time. When you're in the middle of a difficult situation, it's tempting to want to rush through it, to skip the hard parts and get to the good stuff. But the process is what makes you stronger. It's the struggle that builds character, teaches you discipline, prepares you for what's ahead. When you embrace discomfort, you learn to be patient with yourself and the journey. You learn to trust that every step, no matter how painful, is taking you closer to your goals. Discomfort also challenges your limits. It forces you to go beyond what you think you're capable of. When you push through the pain, the exhaustion, and the doubt, you discover new levels of strength, determination, and resilience. You realize that your limits are not fixed, they're self-imposed. And every time you break through them, you expand what's possible for your life. Embracing discomfort is how you grow into the person who can achieve the dreams you're chasing. To embrace discomfort, you have to let go of the need for perfection. Perfectionism is a trap that keeps you stuck in your comfort zone. It makes you afraid to take risks, to make mistakes, and to fail. But failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. When you embrace discomfort, you embrace the possibility of failure, knowing that it's not the end of the world. Every mistake is a lesson. Every failure is a step forward. And every setback is an opportunity to grow. Discomfort teaches you humility. It reminds you that you don't have all the answers, that you still have a lot to learn, and that the journey is bigger than you. It keeps you grounded and open to new perspectives. When you're willing to be uncomfortable, you're willing to admit when you're wrong, to seek help when you need it, and to learn from those who have gone before you. This humility is what allows you to grow, to improve, and to keep moving forward. Embracing discomfort also means embracing uncertainty. The path to success is rarely clear or predictable. There will be moments when you don't know what's next, when you're unsure of the outcome, and when everything feels uncertain. It's in those moments that your character is tested. Can you keep moving forward even when you don't have all the answers? Can you trust the process even when the results aren't guaranteed? When you embrace discomfort, you learn to find peace in the uncertainty. You learn to focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. Discomfort is also a reminder of what's at stake. The things that matter most in life, the things that truly make you happy and fulfilled, are often the things that require the most effort, sacrifice, and discomfort. Whether it's building a career, maintaining a relationship, or pursuing a dream, the price of admission is discomfort. When you embrace it, you remind yourself why you're willing to endure it. You reconnect with your purpose and your vision, and that gives you the strength to keep going. One of the most powerful ways to embrace discomfort is to seek it out intentionally. Don't wait for challenges to come to you. Go out and find them. Push yourself to do things that scare you, that stretch you, and that make you uncomfortable. Whether it's taking on a new project, starting a difficult conversation, or stepping into a leadership role, the more you practice being uncomfortable, the easier it becomes. Over time, you build a tolerance for discomfort, and it stops feeling like something to fear. Discomfort is where creativity thrives. When you're in your comfort zone, you tend to stick to what's familiar, what's safe, and what's worked in the past. But creativity requires you to think differently, to take risks, and to challenge the status quo. When you embrace discomfort, you open yourself up to new ideas, new perspectives, and new possibilities. You learn to see challenges as opportunities for innovation and growth, and that's where breakthroughs happen. When you embrace discomfort, you also embrace responsibility. It's easy to blame external factors for your struggles, to make excuses, and to avoid taking ownership of your life. But discomfort forces you to look inward, to take responsibility for your actions, and to own your journey. It's not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond. When you take responsibility, you take control. You stop waiting for someone else to fix things, and you start creating the life you want. Discomfort teaches you gratitude. When you've been through tough times, you learn to appreciate the good moments even more. You understand the value of hard work, the joy of progress, and the strength it takes to overcome adversity. Gratitude becomes a powerful motivator, reminding you of how far you've come and how much you're capable of achieving. When you embrace discomfort, you learn to find joy in the process, even when it's hard. Every moment of discomfort is an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn more, and to become better. It's in those moments that you discover who you really are, what you're capable of, and what you're willing to fight for. Discomfort is not a roadblock, it's a stepping stone. When you embrace it, you unlock your full potential, and you take one step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be.